Okay, we're gonna do lab 10, the brain, and this first part we'll do the cranial nerves, okay? So, they are hard to see on some of, so this is this little brain here. The cranial nerves are almost all on the ventral surface, right? The dorsal surface is kind of the back of the brain. All of them but one come from the ventral surface of the brain. And even the one that comes from the dorsal surface, it kind of curls around and comes out the ventral surface. So you can see them all on kind of this surface. All right, actually, we'll start right here. So here is the very first cranial nerve is this long white right here. This is the olfactory nerve. There it is, cranial nerve number 1. Okay, then put these two together. Cranial nerve number 2 is the optic nerve, and that's these two that you can see right there's one and there's the other, and it kind of crosses over. This is that pituitary gland getting in the way, but this is cranial nerve 2, the optic, and it is trying to pull that out of the way, but it's an X there. So let's show it to you. Oh, it's more clear on this one. This one has the olfactory section taken out. I think I dropped that in the car. But you can see here, right where my finger is, this is the X that is made. So here's the optic chiasm right here. There's kind of a crossing here and a crossing here. So this is right below where my finger is the optic chiasm, and that's cranial nerve number 2. All right, cranial nerve number 3. So here you see the little green circles, hard to see perhaps, but deep in here, those are the mammillary bodies, and then right below them, this is cranial nerve 3 right here. So these two white surfaces that you see here and here, that's ocular motor, cranial nerve 3. Okay, and we'll stick with this one. So then, maybe I'll pull off part of this. Yeah. Okay, so we're pulling off, here's the pons and the medulla. All right, and we just saw this was the mammillary body right here. This is the ocular motor, cranial nerve 3. Here's cranial nerve 4. So you see there's kind of a line here, this white line right there, and it comes around, and that is the trochlear nerve. It kind of starts in the back, but it comes around and exits in the front. So on this model, don't know if you can see it. Yeah, you can kind of see way deep in there. That's the trochlear nerve. It starts in the dorsal side and comes out and exits, and then kind of comes out onto the ventral side. All right. Then cranial nerve 5 is a very large, big one on the pons. This is the trigeminal nerve. This one's important for speech-language pathologists, important nerve. And it's a very thick nerve. It's a very big nerve if you see it on a model, and it comes right out from the pons there. Okay. On this model, that's a little hard to see, perhaps, but that is cranial nerve 5 way up there, kind of way up there. All right. All right. I'm going to show you a picture too to just go over what we just saw. So hopefully you can kind of see this now. All right, there's cranial nerve 1 at the top. Here's 1. Here's 2, which is the optic, so 1 is olfactory. 2 is the optic nerve, which crosses over there. 3, here's olfactory nerve. All right, it kind of comes right below. These are those mammillary bodies, that circle there. So this is the olfactory nerve. And then this is 4. This is the one that comes around from the back, the trochlear nerve. So you see on this side, it's this orange one. Here it's this purple one. That's the trochlear nerve. And then here you see this huge O one. That is cranial nerve number 5, the trigeminal. That's the one we just did, and it kind of comes out right from the pons. All right, then you're gonna see 6, 7, and 8 kind of in a row. 6, 7, 8. On this side, it's 6, 7, 8. Okay? So I will show you those. I think it's easier to see on this one. So I'll stick this back in. All right. So this is the one again that we kind of took out the hemispheres, and we said this right here was cranial nerve 5. So then you kind of, so this is the midline right here, right? And you see 6, 7. So 6 is the abducens or abducent. It's right there. It's kind of towards very much in the middle. Right. So right in this section where the pons and the medulla meet, this is the medulla down here, this is the pons, you get 3 of these nerves. You get 6, and they go kind of in the middle, 6, 7, 8. So the nerves tend to go like up, down, and then middle to out. So this is 6 abducens. 7, 7, and 8 are right next to each other here, and 7 is the first one, that's the facial nerve, and then behind it is 8, which is the vestibular cochlear nerve. That's the nerve for hearing. Those two you'll hear about later, but they come very close to each other, 7 and 8. All right. Then you have to go lower, and it's very hard to see on this one. Don't worry too much. We won't use these on the quiz. But just so you know, this is 9, and then this is 10, right outside the olives, 9, 10. Then 11 is the accessory. That's this one down here. I doubt that you can see it. I'll show it on the picture, this one. And then 12, the hypoglossal, that's on the other side of the olive up here. So 12, the hypoglossal nerve is fairly underneath the abducent nerve. All right. I'll see if it's any clearer on this one. All right, so here's another different model. And you see there's the trigeminal up there, 5. Then in the middle again, 6. This is the abducens right here. I don't know if you can see that very well. Yep, and then next to it, there's 7 and 8. 7, 8. Then back here is 9. On the other side of those orange, that's called the olives, 9, 10. 11 is down here, and then 12 is up in the middle again, kind of up here. That's 12. Okay, I'll show you this on the picture one more time. I won't probably use the model for the cranial nerves because they're very hard to see, but you might have to label them in a picture, so make sure you can kind of follow. So we had ended with 5 here. All right, then we said 6, 7, and 8. 6, 7, and 8. All right, and then we had 9 is this one down here. 9 and 10 are very close to each other. 9 is thinner. Here's 9, the little thin one. All right, and 10 is right below it. That's 10. Then 11 is the accessory. That's this ladder-shaped one on both sides. And it's really the lowest one. And then you go back up for 12, and 12 is a little more medial. This is kind of 12. The hypoglossal nerve is a little bit out of, not where you'd think it would be, because it's kind of going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then 12 kind of jumps back up again. All right, so 12 is a little more medial, and it's pretty close to number 6 there. All right, that is it for cranial nerves.